Yeah, PeeJay, what's your background? That's amazing.
Is it an Ewok or a cat?
It's a cat with laser beams shooting out of his eyes.
Is that a laser cats?
Is that Nyan Cat?
For SNL laser cats?
It's you ever see the t-shirts? Because I had a friend that wore this t-shirt to school all the time. So yeah, it's a cat shooting bright colors out of his, his anus and his eyes.
I love the way you said anus right there.
Anus, yeah.
You're using a green screen, right?
Yeah, I'm using the green screen. I'm so
How
happy.
do you do that? How do you do that feature?
There should be like a cog in the bottom, like it's
Cam mic.
Yeah, cam.
Oh, wow.
And there's a green screen. So,
dude, I'm gonna buy one.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get a green piece of paper. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. You guys keep this bit going because we are live. So you guys keep this going.
Oh, we are live already? Holy
yeah, we're live.
Yeah, I like it. I like how you guys roll here.
Yeah. Well,
wait, is he seriously gonna get a green screen?
I thought he was kidding. But,
I thought he was kidding. I hope he's not like going to make a green screen. So
he probably is. He's gonna tape it all together.
Yeah, it's awesome. Green screens are pretty cheap. They're like $20, and I thought I had fun with it, man. I'm so happy that StreamYard. Oh, there you. Oh my gosh! Look at that. It's already detecting it.
Look at that. Look at that.
You got like a.
There we go.
These are brick. How?
You have to change. Yeah, see, you can adjust the transparency. So.
Oh wow! Look at that. Hang on, let me find a Bernie 2020 picture.
Oh no.
Oh, Victoria, put that over his head. I don't know if you can.
Is this better? Hey, that works too. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, we're learning so many new things today. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I was
Let's
gonna
get
put
this.
some more inappropriate pictures, but I wasn't sure. It's my first time.
Order green screens online or what?
Yeah. What do you use for your green screen?
I forgot. It's like a limo.
Well, obviously, smartass. Like, do you have like a whole standalone thing or?
Yeah, they have some that's like $20, and you could just hang it on your wall, or you could have like you could buy the stance, which is like another $20. Like I spent like $35 with my green screen setup, which is pretty cool. And I was gonna plan to use it on like my future videos and stuff, like like me running from like I don't know Bernie Sanders or something. I don't know.
Wow,
that's pretty sweet. I want one now.
Yeah. I want one, Dean. We need to get one for the studio. I think we need to get one for the studio. Hang on, I'm trying to just change some settings here real quick.
It wouldn't make sense in the studio.
It would make perfect sense in the studio. What are you talking
about?
People
like to see the collection when we're live.
No, but in the back, we could put in that little wall right there in the door. We have nothing going on back there.
What would you? Wow.
But I was gonna ask you. So you guys live close to each other, or?
Yeah. No, I'd never even met the guy actually. What the hell? It's not working now. He lied to me. He lied to me.
That's not a green screen, is it?
It was a green piece of
paper.
What the heck? Oh, see, it doesn't work anymore.
You got to change the transparency, I think.
Oh, it's too much. There we go. Just enough to show Andrew Yang. Look at that. There we go. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, see, there's some blotches there, so that's why it's not recognizing.
Oh, wow, look at that. That's amazing. That is amazing. Okay, I'm sorry. We have been totally derailed. All the one people that is watching is like tuned out.
Yeah, Zach lives like 30 minutes away, not even.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, Dean and I hang out all the time.
It's when I have a car.
It's fantastic.
Famously, back in November, I was a block away from Zach's house and I got rear-ended.
Oh man,
truck. So
it's always the case. Like I think most accidents happen like close by and stuff.
Yeah, dude, I was literally like right there.
Literally like 3 minutes from my house.
Yeah, same. Like I got into a car accident last year. It wasn't too bad. It was just like a small like fender bender, and it was like literally 2 minutes away from my house. My mother-in-law got into a car accident earlier this year, and it was literally like a minute from my house.
Dang.
Either my house is cursed or things happen close by to your house.
People are just assholes. Yeah, that's probably
yeah.
Yeah, so we've been doing it over StreamYard ever since because it's hard to get over there.
Yeah. StreamYard's surprisingly,
Dude, it's so much better than what the hell were we using before?
We were using Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts sucked. Oh my gosh, even the quality
Google
of
Hangouts was awful.
It was better. It's better than Skype, but yeah, this dude, StreamYard is next level.
Yeah, it was like StreamYard. Like the video quality is better. The audio quality is better, especially when you're doing like podcasts and stuff, and you record like you use one of these like softwares to record your episodes. The audio just comes out so much better,
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right. Especially with the automatic audio levels that they have in this thing, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I like it. So,
anyways, Dean, count me in.
All right, 4, 3.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm PeeJay the Paradox Nerd. It's your boy. I'm sorry. I'm like really new to this.
He just said he's the number one fan.
Yeah.
What's up, gamers? The boy is good. Okay, ready? 3, 2. Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
It's your boy PeeJay the Paradox Nerd.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's the weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us as we can collecting.
That's right.
ToyFair was last week, and for the first time in a long time, we actually have new stuff to talk about.
Dude,
before we get into new this week and all the crazy ass news, let's tell us about our special guest. PeeJay, please introduce yourself to our listeners, and let's learn a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, this is where we get naughty, right? Oh, no, I mean, sorry. Anyway,
like long walks on the beach.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm PeeJay the Paradox Nerd. I have a YouTube channel. It's the Paradox Nerd. I kind of like do like unboxings and reviews of like pretty expensive collectibles because I love wasting money on stuff. I also do collect a whole bunch of like figures too. Like I do collect a lot of Black Series. I used to collect SH Figure Arts till I realized that I really wanted Hot Toys more. There's only so much you could do with money. Especially you don't have much, you're just like kind of limited to what you could buy. But yeah, I'm a collector that kind of like collects anything that I think is cool. Like I'm not one of those collectors where I go, hey, you know what? I don't collect. I don't collect 3 3/4, right? I don't collect them. Like I don't limit myself that way. If I think it's cool and it's my favorite character, I'm picking it up.
Yeah.
And that's always been my motto, because I know there are some collectors that go, hey, I only collect statues, man. I don't collect dolls. And then there'll be like figure collectors. They'll be like, I don't collect statues. They don't move. They're just there, And I don't know. Life's too short to kind of limit yourself with ideas like that. So, or mottos like that. So,
yeah. And tell us about your podcast.
That's
cast.
Yeah, so I do also have I don't know, because and I'm not trying to like brown nose here or anything just because I'm on the show.
No, please do.
Okay, all right. So here comes the brown nosing. No, but seriously, like like I listen to you guys. I listen to 6 Scale Scavengers and a whole bunch of Oh no, I can't say those.
No, please go ahead.
Zach is just being an asshole.
Yeah, no, but I just like like I listen to you guys, I see how much fun you guys are having, and you're so passionate about like the figures and stuff. I know you guys collect like Bandai, Dragon Ball Z, and all that. And I listen to you guys like, you're like, cool, that's like super easy. And I decided to start a podcast called Sithcast Podcast, which is like a Star Wars podcast where we pretty much talk anything and everything. Wait, why am I sounding like I'm like when you go into that mode where you're like you start like
you got the spiel.
Yeah, I started doing my spiel because So we pretty much talk everything Star Wars. So I'm a big huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I'm passionate about Star Wars. So I kind of wanted to find a platform where I could kind of like show people how much I love Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's a great show. You invited me on last week.
Yeah,
and, I was super nervous to come on. I mean, I've done like 100 of these shows. Like, I know how to record and to speak, but I was really nervous because you showed me the show sheet, and I was like, oh wow, it's like one thing on the show sheet. I was like, this is like a 2-hour show. Like, what do you mean? But you guys have a great show. It was us, Matt, and Chris, and it was good. Dean said he wants to be on one day. So
Mangum.
yeah,
You want to be on
the
too,
sweet
Dean?
angel.
I love Matt, dude. Any way I can get closer to Matt.
Oh, is there something I should know?
Yeah.
Oh no, but like, yeah, you know what it is too. Like, I know like my show sheet was horrible, and I probably told you it's like, hey man, this is just a guide. You know,
Yeah.
because we just hit record, and whatever comes out of our mouths, I just it's I just leave it, because I suck at intros. Like you guys are awesome with your intros and like how you guys do like, you guys talk at the same time to do like, oh, news or, like stuff like that. And I'm just horrible with intros, man. It takes a while for me to get going. So I didn't want to make it like too structured where I'm like, hi guys, it's PeeJay back again with another video. So I was like, you know what? Let's just hit record and whatever happens.
Yeah.
You don't want to you want to capture the moment as opposed to hit record button. Everyone's kind of like, they because you know how it is, guys. Like once you hit that record button, everything changes.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Oh, we were talking mad shit before we hit that record button.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why a minute ago you didn't realize we had already started broadcasting because I like a lot of my favorite podcasts start with like a cold open.
Yeah,
and I just threw that idea to Zach, like, hey, like
let's just press record and not let anybody know.
It's a little structured sometimes. I was like, let's just like see what happens and then start the episode, and it's worked out pretty well for us.
Yeah, and I think those are like the best podcast episodes when you just hit record and just let everything like flow freely. And for me, like especially when I do my YouTube videos, like it's challenging because I don't know, I get like, even though I've been doing it for like a year, I still get stage fright. Like whenever I hit that record button, I'm like, I freeze and I like stutter and like I get anxious and I'm like speaking like 100 miles, 100 words per minute, and I don't know. That's why I love the podcast platform, just because it's easy, you just talk.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't feel like entertainment.
Yeah, it's like
just
hanging out. Like, and one thing I love about the cold open is just that like you just want to make the listeners feel like they're just walking into the conversation. Like in a subway and you're like, you're sitting down to the people next to you and then they're like having this really cool conversation about like anal sex. I mean, wow. Just like, just sex in general. And then you're like, oh, cool. And you listen to it. And even though you're coming midway through the conversation, it's still engaging. So that's why.
Yeah. One of my favorite podcasts, I think it's ID10T now, but it was the Nerdist podcast.
Yes, that's my favorite too.
He would hit record while they were like sitting down.
Yeah.
And so he just like automatically, the show was already started. So for not only the guest, but for the listener, it was just like the most organic way to start a show. And
I totally agree.
We should do that.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we started doing that.
Yeah, I agree to that too. Like, I listened to Chris Hardwick when he was like, in Nerdist, and like he listened to the conversation. It just flowed. Like he has guests on that they're there to promote their, their show or whatever they're promoting, and they rarely get to that promotion.
The show's over and they're like, oh yeah, I'm talking about a movie.
Oh yeah, talk about your Terminator movie that you're coming out with, and they have like 5 minutes that they talk about it. But in the most part, like you're talking about like personal lives and stuff like that. Which if there is something personal, like say like the host, they want to cut out, I'll cut it out, and it's pretty easy. So, but yeah, I just like organic stuff.
Well, it's good to have you. Thank you again for
organic food, though. Thanks for having me, though.
Yeah, it's always good to have you, Dean. We have our favorite segment, the one that is everyone's favorite part of the show. Would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, are you ready?
Yes.
It's
new this week.
Dude, I don't know how it sounds to you, but to me that sounds awful.
It sounded good to me, but then when I listen to it, when I edit, it's awful.
Yeah, it's like new this This
Weak.
was so awesome.
I can't wait to be back in person.
Dude, me too. I actually have nothing new this week. I was like scrambling. Did I get something? Did I like stop at a GameStop? Did I buy a movie? I got nothing this week, dude.
Wow.
That's it.
PeeJay, what about you?
What did I get new this week? I really haven't. I mean, because I've been in like on the tear with the Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah.
So I picked up the Kotobukiya Mando 1/10 scale statue last week. I reviewed it and I love it. It's actually really good. I'm surprised.
I like it a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it during when we talk about ToyFair. But Kotobukiya has been really stepping up their game with some of their sculpts with their 1/10 scale statues. I saw like their announcement with the Women of Marvel, like Scarlet Witch, Captain Marvel, Silk. They all look amazing. Like their head sculpt looks 10 times better from previous releases. So I'm really happy with that line. So I picked up the Mandalorian, and I picked up Hot Toys Captain Marvel, which I am going to put up the review probably by tomorrow or the day after.
How's that suit?
It's dangerous.
That's what
It looks awful. Like it looks like it's going to fall apart. Like
I would suggest to anyone that picks it up just to put it in a not dynamic pose, put it in a static pose, in a museum pose, and just not touch it. Because it's worse than Iron Spider, even though it's the same.
Wow!
Suit, even though it's the same suit as Iron Spider, I feel like Iron Spider kind of like the creases go back to like being flat after a short period of time. Captain Marvel, it sticks around, it lingers around for a little bit, just because like her chest armor is like a hard plastic shell, so it's not like Iron Spider where the whole suit is like that material. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that plastic shell actually like makes it hard to articulate, and it actually adds on to the creasing error stuff.
When is that review going to be up? Is it going to be up this weekend or next
probably
week?
This week. Yeah, this week. I just recording last week. I think last night. So yeah. I edited it.
That sounds disappointing.
Be sure to check it out on the Paradox Nerd YouTube channel. I know it's gonna be a good one.
Thank you.
Because she's like one of those characters that like you shouldn't have in a dynamic pose, or you shouldn't have in a static pose. Like, it's not like an Iron Man where you could have him kind of like stoic, or like Captain America, but like Spider-Man, her, even someone like a Star-Lord, you would want them, up doing something. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, and like with Captain Marvel, like. One thing I love about her is her head sculpt. They definitely improved it from the prototype. It really looks good.
I thought everybody was talking shit about it. I was like,
oh yeah,
great.
It's probably the lighting, but to be honest, it really looks. I mean, it's not like 100% likeness. I would say it's about 90 to 95%.
That's fair.
Yeah. So for me, it was kind of an interesting week. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Kind of I wouldn't say drama, but kind of craziness. I ended up getting the Figuarts Jiren for $6, and we're going to talk about how that happened. But it is fantastic. Now, a lot of people have had breakages in their Jirens, and when I saw those videos, I'm like, or pictures rather, you kind of think like these people are kind of maybe ham-fisting their figures, pulling this shit around rough. But I have never had a figure with tighter joints than this Jiren, specifically in the arms, and I honestly can see how people broke their Jirens. Again, I got it for $6. We'll talk about it a little later, but it's a fantastic figure. I really like it. It's super well done.
Is everyone having the same problem with the same?
It's the right arm, both in the shoulder and in the upper, like the bicep swivel. On my figure, the left arm is perfect, but everyone seems to have that issue with the right arm. Now, I did pick up a few weeks ago the MP45 Bumblebee, and I wanted to wait a few weeks to really give my thoughts on it. And honestly, I'm not really sure how I feel. Now, we've done extensive talks about Bumblebee the last 4 or 5 weeks on the channel. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the character, big fan of G1 Bumblebee. And This figure has it all. It has articulation. It looks really clean. The backpack on the back is really awful. The feet backpacks are not as bad as I thought they would have been. But it was one of those figures that, once I got it transformed, there was a lot of things I had to do to it. So I had to unscrew the hips, put a drop of super glue to tighten up a joint, screw those back together. There was a few paint touch-ups that I had to do. Unfortunately, Walmart sells really decent yellow paint that's like, 50 cents. So I bought every color in yellow, which was like 4 gloss yellows, found one that matched, and I was able to touch up the paint on the helmet pretty well. You can't really see it. It was just a little bit of a scratch, and I just filled it in with paint. And it's just one of those things that, like, I don't ever want to transform it again, because the transformation, I just felt like things were going to break. It wasn't a very intuitive transformation. It didn't have any of those masterpiece moments where you're like, oh, wow, that was neat. The whole time I was just looking forward to being done with it. And when you're done with the transformation, you're just left with a that's it feeling. And Jabi the Hong really nailed that through in his review. But it is very posable. He can actually double hold his weapon with 2 hands, which looks really good. He looks... What do you say, Dean?
That's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's super posable. The only thing I would say I don't like is his feet are so wide that he can never really stand straight up. Everything almost looks a little bow-legged. But, I would say I'm not ever going to have him in a standing, straight pose. But it's really good. I wish the yellow was a little bit more like the Hot Soldiers, which is like more like our logo, which is like a really bright sunshine yellow. This one's more like a lemon yellow, and I guess the comparison to that would be something like this is the Hot Soldiers yellow, and this is the Bumblebee, which is like just a little bit darker of a shade of yellow. But it's a really neat figure. I don't think it's worth retail, and I'm glad I got it for like $35 under retail. But it's certainly one of those figures that's not as bad as I thought it would be after seeing a lot of the reviews. But yeah, so Jiren, Bumblebee, those are a few pickups from the last few weeks. And then I did pick up in a trade a Super Vegeta. Dean and I were talking about me getting one, and I found a good seller that had one, and we worked out a deal. And it's fantastic. Like, I can't even... No, it was from one of the groups. But it's just nice to have it back in the collection. I got it like 3 years ago for my birthday, and then sold it once I got out of Figuarts. And since then, it seems like the figures that I used to have, like Beerus and Whis, the prices just skyrocketed on those things. And fortunately, this one stayed somewhat close to retail. So yeah, it was a pretty good week for me.
I can't even say it. Figure arts usually go up in price once they're sell out.
Yeah, some of them stay around the retail price. Like the Future Trunks from the Cell Saga seems to just like hover around below retail. I would say that's an outlier. I would say most tend to trend upwards. Some are really short printed. Like everyone is saying that Jiren is going to be a super short printed figure because it's a Japan exclusive. It wasn't one of those figures that was released to the mass market. And because of that, that's what people are saying, that it's going to be exclusive and hard to find. But not only that, because so many of them are breaking, let's say they made 10,000 of these, but if they're having to replace, because the parts that are breaking are parts that you have to replace the whole figure to fix. You can't just pop out the joint. So I really think Jiren's going to be one of those figures that's going to be hard to come by in good shape. So what I did was I took the figure and kind of spread the joints apart, sprayed in some WD-40 and worked it in, and it seems to have improved the shoulder quite a bit. But definitely one of those things that I'm not going to be messing around with too much.
Gotcha.
So Dean, let's get into some of the news from this week, but before we do, let's thank our sponsor, Watto's Scrapyard. Sean's such a good guy, always hooking us up with the latest and greatest in 3D sculpts and Hasbro Kenner replacement parts. He sent over a Lando Calrissian sculpt to Only Fools and Collecting. They're going to be giving that sculpt away for free unpainted on their podcast. I'm not sure the terms of how they're doing that giveaway, so definitely check out message Ian on Auxiliary if you want a chance to win that. And he is sending us just pretty much anytime he makes something cool, he sends us a sample. He sent a sample to Dean of the Mandalorian Black Series helmet that he printed, which is excellent. Wow. I do have that waiting for you, Dean. And yeah, he's just a great guy. Sponsored our show for the last 2 months, and we can't thank him enough. Dean, do you want to say any good words about the Sweet Angel Sean?
Yeah, and if you have an idea of a head sculpt you want to get done, shoot him a message. Because he had done an Iden Versio from Battlefront 2. And I was like, dude, you should do the whole Inferno squad. And I was like, that would be a cool shelf. He's like, can you give me some reference pictures? I was like, sure. So I took 5 minutes out of my day, got as many references as I could, sent them to him, and he made them. And then I was like, hey, I have a custom sculpt I want to get done just for me. And we worked out a deal, and I paid him, and I got the sculpt digitally sculpted and then printed within I think it was start to finish 3 days. So if there's a project you want to work on, hit up the Sweet Angel Sean. And
yeah, and the great thing with Sean is a lot of times you'll have a digital sculptor, but they we mentioned this before, but a lot of times people don't want to do small batch stuff. And talking with Jason Nelson, he was telling me about a sculptor a few years ago that he was working with, and essentially they would only do the project if he committed to buying 20 sculpts. And with Sean, if you pay the design fee, he'll print. If you just want one print, you can do print runs as small as one.
Yeah.
And specifically for mine, I just did one of each head sculpt that I ordered. So very reasonable priced. You can do custom head sculpts, or you can do any character you want. And I think it's a pretty good price compared to some of the other offerings there.
It's such an awesome thing if you have especially with the Black Series, it's a little tougher in 6 scale, just sourcing parts. But Black Series figures are so many, and you could even mismatch with Marvel Legends. So it's if there's a character you want to get done, it's so easy now with Sean to get that little project finished.
Yeah.
So don't wait. Just go ask.
Yep. Now let's get into new pre-orders. So ToyFair was this week, and I honestly think that Trick or Treat Studios had the biggest news of the ToyFair for 6
Dude, I was shocked.
Yeah, I agree.
I am shooketh. Now they are releasing a 1/6 scale Myers, and according to information that we've seen, this is for the prototype. So I'm not sure how it's going to work for the actual figures themselves, but the prototype had coveralls made by Tenella, and the head sculpting and the painting work was done by Kane. These are rumored to come in at $120, which seems astronomically cheap given how pricey and for well-deserved how pricey both of those artists charge for their work. The Tenella charges a good bit for custom overalls, and her stuff is fantastic, and Kane the same. So I'm wondering if Tenella for the actual retail release is going to just provide the pattern, and then Kane sort of like a paint master. I'm wondering how it's going to work, because that price is suspiciously low for something of this quality. What do you guys think about this?
Do you think they're trying to make it up in other places? The actual figure itself is not really good quality.
That's what Manny was saying, that the body looked really bad, and he was thinking that they're probably cheaping out on the body.
Yeah.
I just don't see. I mean, at the scale that these are going to be produced, I can't imagine that Kane and Tenella are making every single one of these themselves. That just seems a bit far-fetched. This does kind of. I mentioned this in the past, but I was worried that when Chronicle was going into 6 scale, they had some of the best painters paint their prototypes, and they were soliciting their products based on those extremely well done prototypes. And that's their first venture into 6 scale figures. So I'm worried that this same thing could happen here, where Tots is making their first 1/6 scale figure in the form of different Michael Myers and different other horror properties. I'm worried that they're going in with these big names, and they're charging a price that would lead you to suggest the quality is not going to be as good. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I know a lot of people in the community, Manny especially, is super excited for this. He was mentioning wanting to do a Collecting Weekly horror podcast. So Manny, if you're serious, I'm totally down. That sounds freaking fantastic. Dean, what do you think about this?
I think it's fantastic, dude. I mean, like you said, the artists charge so much for, their work, and it is fantastic work. That piecing a Myers together is easily $400 to $500, and nobody made a Michael Myers except for 3-0 up until recently, and that thing was garbage.
Yeah, there was also a third party that didn't look super great.
Yeah, Psycho Killer.
Yep.
And this is a whole level beyond those. But even the 3-0 one was fetching almost $400 or $500 because
I remember that because there wasn't a lot of people that had a good set of coveralls for that price.
Yeah, and so not only is this opening the market for a Myers, for even someone like me who wouldn't mind the iconic character like Michael Myers in the collection, like in the shelf somewhere, like hidden, like all cool. Not only making it available, but at such an awesome price. I mean, I think it's $120 is insane because even what was
even crappy third party figures come in at more than
the
$120.
Joker was what, $90?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, and I guarantee that body probably wasn't the best. So
yeah,
I mean, $120, easy body swap if you really wanted to. I doubt you would need it.
Yeah, Jason says in regards to the old sculptor he is working with, the price for the digital design was $400 with his old sculptor, and then for $200 more you would get 20 casts of the head. Manny says, "What's up, Manny? We're talking about your boy Myers." And Caesar M says, "Just finished watching Rogue 16." Thanks for joining us, Caesar. Yeah, I mean, if you told me last week that we were going to have a 6-scale Myers done by Tanella and Kane for below $250, I would be shocked to believe it. So this has all the makings of something really good for people who collect horror. And Dean, you make an excellent point. It for me, I mean, I like the movie. I've only seen H1 and H40, I guess you'd call it, the 2018 one. I like Michael Myers, but I don't like Michael Myers $500 worth to put together the full custom. I would say I probably like him $120 worth, especially since a lot of those TOTS masks, which are officially licensed, a lot of those were getting some pretty good coupons. So I imagine if this is something eligible for some discount, you might be able to pick up a full set of these for pretty cheap, because I remember the masks were going for like $40 off with some coupons, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing, is they are licensed. They do have the license for this character and for these masks. So definitely exciting.
It wasn't just this Michael Myers.
It was I think it was H4 and then the 2018, if I recall correctly.
It was a whole bunch.
One H4, H5. I remember there was like back to back.
Yeah,
it's like this one and this one. This one looks good. This one doesn't. And then the I don't know what number the new one is.
I just call it, I think it's H40. I think that's what they call it, because I know it's H20 and then H40. Now this is from Hot Toys. This is the Mandalorian Cos Baby figures. So I'm just going to cycle through a few of these while we talk about it. So there's the child with the hover pram, the child with the frog, with the bowl, the Mandalorian and the child, which I think we've already gotten a Mandalorian in IG-11. So this is with the child force wielding, the child with the knob, the heavy infantry Mandalorian. And these all look really good. My only complaint so far is Cos Babies have this very iconic proportion, specifically in the feet. And I feel like a lot of these just look like Funkos. They don't really, like, especially with the child, with the actual normal Yoda species feet, they don't really look like Cos Babies, in my opinion. I've owned 2 or 3, and they all had that exact same, like, really wide cartoonish shoe design, and I'm just not really getting that here. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be nice, but I think I'm also a little bit annoyed that they're all just digital renders. What do you guys think about these?
I'm definitely getting it just because I'm in a Mandalorian high. So,
Yeah.
But looking at the Mandalorian Beskar armor version, this is like the first time we're actually seeing a collectible with, Mandalorian collectible that
is true.
Beskar armor on. It seems like everyone's kind of milking the first set of armor, and they're kind of milking it to the point where it's like, by the time like they finally released the Beskar version, we're gonna be like tapped out in terms of money. But I have a whole bunch of Cos babies, like Avengers ones, and like you said, Zach, that they're like a high end Funko Pop. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they look like they definitely are pretty similar, but I think they look a little bit better than Funko Pops. You know, just
the paint
Yeah.
detail is just way better.
yeah, the paint detail, the pose. You know, obviously they're in different poses as opposed to Funko. They're just kind of like in like that dynamic pose. I mean, not that I always say that they're that museum pose.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I'm definitely picking up this Mandalorian set of Cos babies.
Yeah,
Well,
I got whichever one comes with Mando and Baby Yoda's
yeah.
Yeah,
easy pickup.
yeah, and
PJ,
then,
when you buy a lot of your stuff, do you get them from overseas, right?
yeah, depending if I really want them for regular Hot Toys, if I really want them right away, I would get them overseas.
Mhm.
And
Which seller do you use?
I use Day One Collectibles. I've actually been using him since day one.
Hey.
Hey, but he's the cheapest one. Like he's out of all the resellers I've worked with, he is seriously the cheapest one I've dealt with.
Do you want to give him a little bit of a plug? Maybe we can send
Yeah,
some
Day
goods
One
his way?
Collectibles. Hit him up. Tell him the Paradox Nerd sent you, and he will seriously take care of you.
He's on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, he's on Facebook, mostly Facebook. So yeah, just
Okay.
look up the Day One Collectibles, and just tell him the Paradox Nerd sent you, and he'll give you like like a guide and how to do the pre-orders through him, and if you need anything, he could get for you. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
Jason Nelson says, after playing with Beast Kingdom Egg Attack figures, I will never want Hot Toys Cos babies. Sean Fears says, hey guys. And Manny says they're making H4, H5, H40, and H1.
I actually definitely agree with Jason Nelson about the Beast Kingdom Egg Attack figures. I actually do have an Iron Man Mark 43, and I love it. I love it. The light up features are great. They just look, and they're cute too. So
yeah,
a little bit more expensive.
A little bit more expensive.
A little bit more depending on what you get, but yeah.
yeah. What they're like 130, I think, is the retail for the Egg Attack figures.
Actually, Amazon sells them, so I usually pick them up whenever there's a sale. I got the Iron Man Mark 43 for like $40.
Okay.
Yeah, because they had
on sale are like $4.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But
God.
And you can get them at the Disney store.
Yeah, select ones you can get at the Disney store. Speaking of Disney store, the Lego Mandalorian Razor Quest. Razor Crest. I cannot talk. The Razor Quest, I'm just going to go with it, is on pre-order. Now, this is $130. Rainer said this was an Amazon exclusive, but I did see this on legostore.com and Disney store. So I'm wondering if, because those are just the main property holders, they get access to it as well. But this is coming out September 1st, and I think this looks pretty decent. I think Rainer was saying the price per brick is a little bit lower than the average. I would have to say that this would definitely be something I will be picking up. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I've been wanting to build a Lego set for a while.
Yeah,
I have a Lego set, but I want to keep it in the box.
Which one is it?
The UCS Slave One.
Oh, nice.
One, I'm not ready to build a UCS. Those things are very
time consuming.
And then two, it was a gift, but I wanted to like appreciate and value. But I have that itch of like, man, I really want to build like an actual set. And I haven't really found one that's like been a decent price enough to be like, okay, I'll get it, and be sizable enough to justify the price. So this one is definitely piquing my interest, and I will probably pick it up.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I usually don't collect Lego sets just because that's as much as you want to collect everything, finance usually or money should I say usually restricts you from doing so. But this is a great set. Depending on how much it is, I might pick it up. I really want to pick up a UCS set in general. Would love to do the Millennium Falcon one, but it's still pretty expensive. It's like what, $800. So
Yeah.
I think I'm probably leaning more towards this Razor Quest, Razor Quest, just because it's
PeeJay, get the fuck off this podcast. I'm just kidding. Oh man.
Just because it's it's probably going to be affordable. So
great twins. Yeah. So Deck Collector says Lego Star Wars. Yeah, there you go. Lego Star Wars set resale in a box is very profitable. So Dean, you might be onto something there. This was pretty cool. I know Dean, you weren't a huge fan of this, but I'm actually pretty taken aback by the Star Wars Galaxy of Adventure figures. I've been super tempted. I actually bought Seth's kids the Kylo and Rey figures. And when they unboxed them, they were pretty decent. I bought them for Christmas. But we have Ahsoka and the Ahsoka, I don't know what battalion this is, but this is the 501st, but her specific squadron. So the helmet has the Ahsoka print. I like these. Obviously, they're not Black Series scale, and they're not 3 3/4 scale, and they're not super articulated. But at this point, PeeJay, you mentioned this on your show. Any Ahsoka figure coming out is like better than no Ahsoka figure coming out because her figures are few and far between. So I would say I'd pick up both of these, maybe even 2 troopers and an Ahsoka for a display.
Yeah, I agree. This is a which company is making this again?
This is Hasbro. So Hasbro has a subline called Galaxy of Adventures, and usually they have like gimmicky, twist the waist and the arm goes up. Like they kind of have like gimmicky features. I personally think they look pretty good.
No, I like them. I like the Vader one that they came out with. That one,
that one looks dope.
So
mine is my only qualm with it was that it's a non-scale. Like,
yeah, it's not 6-inch. It's not 3 3/4. It's not.
It really fits her in, and then with the troopers, really anywhere. So
I mean, like you said, Zach, like any Ahsoka that we get in terms of figures or collectibles, like you're jumping on it because there's rarely any, if any,
And her stuff resells really well.
Yeah.
Stephen Kretz says always need more Ahsoka. So
I agree.
Definitely good character. Now, Hasbro really killed it. I think one of the biggest pieces of news from ToyFair was the $60 animatronic child figure. Comes out December 2020, and of course they have their child Black Series figure. The animatronic looks excellent. Honestly, seeing this thing in action made me really want to cancel my Sideshow figure. I know they're not even in the same ballpark in terms of accuracy, but this thing is just so adorable. You can hold it, you can play with it. Comes with all kinds of little gimmicks. The child, I mentioned this in our group chat, but it seems like it really needs paint. And Dean said this is just a proto. We shouldn't worry just yet, but I would say that some very talented people are going to take this figure to the next level, and I'd like to be someone to give it a shot. So I have I have one of these on order. They're like $10. And I'm definitely considering the animatronic since it does come out around Christmas time. What about you guys?
I'm definitely getting both. What do you call this? When does the Black Series one come out?
I think it comes out in May. It's like April to May. It's like pretty soon.
Oh, thank goodness! Because I'm sick and tired of like these like releases being like 2 years or a year from now, But I'm definitely I'm like look, I'm wearing a Baby Yoda T-shirt. So yeah, I'm just on the Mandalorian high right now, and I'm picking up pretty much anything from that show. So I'm definitely picking up the Black Series, which looks really cool with the frog or lizard or whatever that thing is. And I am picking up the animatronic just because it's for my kids, maybe.
Right.
I just kind of wish it came with the cradle, or was that the bassinet?
The pram? Yeah,
the one that, because they showed that in ToyFair and it looked really cool with it. So
yeah, and I didn't see that in any of the pre-order pictures, so I'm wondering what's going on with that.
Yeah. So
Duck Collector says the box looks like it was made by some elementary kids in art class, and the font looks like my grandmother learned how to use Microsoft Art on Microsoft Word. Not the best design there. Now this pre-order really tickled my fancy, not for me personally, but this is Chronicle Collectibles Final Battle Rex coming in at $800. This thing is pretty dope. Like I love the T-Rex statue that I have, but I hate the way the tail curves. It just really bothers me. This one is a little bit of a smaller scale tail, but because it is, you're able to get that full extension at the tail. And of course, this is the final battle Rex from Jurassic World 1. It will pair with the final battle Indominus Rex. Wow. I'm not going to order this. I have no desire to, but I will say credit where credit's due. This does look pretty fantastic. The scarring looks beautiful on the Rex, but it's not really for me.
Dude, same.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to say anything.
Oh,
but...
I do. I do. This is Chronicle, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Chronicle, they kill it with these dinosaurs. But I was gonna say, what's the scale on these again? On this one?
This one, I don't think I saw a scale listed. They just listed, I think it was like 30 inches long. I think something like that. So it's probably like one, it's smaller than 1/10 scale. So probably like 1/12 or like 1/15 scale.
Yeah, but it looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah, I like the way it looks. And of course, Chronicle, the paint to Proto, there is some changes there. But this looks like I would say the paint scheme on this Proto is better than the final result of my Iron Studios. I think my Iron Studios is a little bit too brown and too green. Mm-hmm. And this looks like a pretty good look, specifically that scene where the Rex is attacking the Gallimimus in the open field in the sunlight. Yeah. It's really brown in that scene. And I just really like the way this looks. It has a little bit of skeleton detail on the base.
Brown.
What's that?
Is that a problem if it's too brown?
I would say mine is too green, and I think that's a problem. But then again, mine is replicating a very specific scene, and when you turn the lights down in the office, it does look like that scene. But I think it's one of those things like the Myers overall, bodysuit that he wears. A lot of people argue whether it's green or it's blue or it's gray. It just really depends on the light. And I think in the Jurassic Park fandom, it's really hard to get a good answer about as to what color the Rex exactly is at all times.
It was a very long explanation for me accusing you of being racist, but
okay. Now Chronicle, one step forward, one step back. So they showed these 1/12 scale cloth figures of Ian Malcolm and Dr. Grant, and these look awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but
I honestly don't have anything good to say about either of these. And it's a weird release because I believe it's Mattel just released the Amber collection, and all of those figures are fantastic. They're all like $20-$25. Of course, they're plastic. They're not sculpted and then clothed figures. But for the money, they're fantastic. And of course, Chronicle is releasing their 1/6 scale Rex now in 1/12, and they're making a blue and a brown Raptor in 1/12. But when you can get the Amber Collection Raptor for $25, and most people far and away agree that it's the best Raptor toy ever released for $25, wow. I am really hard pressed to see how this is going to have any market, especially when the Owen that goes alongside their new 1/12 scale blue looks this bad. It just looks awful.
I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Like, is that an alien race in space? And you're like, hey, well, guess what humans look like? That's what they would come out with. It's so tasty, and like the eyes are piercing in this really creepy way, and the proportions are all I don't know what I'm looking at. It's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I give Chronicle Collectibles for trying something new, but man, this is like I would have not brought these to ToyFair. You know what I'm saying? I would have brought the Velociraptor just to show that off and kind of.
I would not have brought these to the Alamo Marketplace, let alone ToyFair. These are bad. Yeah. Now we talked about this last week, Dean. The Figuarts Chi-Chi, and she did go up for pre-order, $55, coming out September 2020. Interesting to note in the Figuarts pre-order picks, there is no second head, so we did call that. But looks really good. I have, and we both have the statue. I have no desire to replace the statue now that I have the statue alongside my GT or Dragon Ball figures. Dean, is this a pickup for you?
Not for 55.
No.
I think that's what Goku retailed for. And he came with a bunch of shit.
I think you're exactly right. And I think it actually might have been 49. And Goku came with the Nimbus, came with 2 different tails, tons of different faces.
Getting him at Think Geek, which they mark it up even more.
Oh, really? Damn.
I think I paid 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Yeah, it was 55 because they had that thing where it's like, oh, use the bag. It's
Yeah.
% off.
Well, I was gonna ask you guys, do you guys like try to pick these up like in a store, like or like ThinkGeek, like you said, or do you try to go like through an online retailer?
Me personally, I like to get my figures. So I'll preface this with I try to buy with the people that support our show,
Can't ever.
like just full stop. But I will make an exception for things that I can get like significantly cheaper. And the cutoff for that usually is like right now I'm getting back into buying Figuarts like this past year. And I hadn't been collecting for a while. So there's some older Figuarts that are like 40% off on Amazon right now. Newer stuff, I like to try to buy it with like Steven's Collectibles or Buddy. Particularly Buddy hooked me up big time with a Beerus and a Whis that were actually sealed for a really good price for both of those like 10 months ago or whatever. It was quite a while ago. But I do try to buy with my friends if I can, and Figuarts groups.
Oh, okay. It was like,
wait, what happened?
You like totally froze.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I said Adam Black runs one of the best Figuarts groups, and
send me an invite for that.
Yeah, and just such a great group. So I do try to buy from groups, but for new releases, like if I didn't have the crazy luck I did at Target for Jiren, I would have bought Jiren with Stevens. I know Dean was saying he's waiting for Stevens to get his Jirens in.
Bulma. I really want Bulma.
Yeah. Well, Bulma's really cheap on Amazon right now, so
yeah.
I don't know if I mean she's like really cheap on Amazon. So but yeah, I tend to try to shop local if I can. Sometimes there's stores, like there's a store in town that had this one Figuarts for a long time, and I would go in all the time and try to wheel and deal on it, like even just a little bit, and they would never like lower the price, and I ended up just buying it on Amazon. So you know, I'm not loyal to the point of like screwing myself over big time, but if it's $2 or $3 difference, I'll shop local. But if it's something like 30% off of a figure and they're not willing to give me a competitive price, then usually I'll go with Amazon. I know Stevens does review his pricing from time to time, and like the Go Tanks I bought from him a while ago, he had lowered it to Amazon prices and then delivered it. So
I like going into Stevens. I also like looking at them because they're such a high dollar figure that you wouldn't want to like wait to get in the mail and then like something's wrong with it, like an eye is not printed properly.
Yeah,
I mean their QC is pretty good, so this never happens, but it's got one other time that you don't check. So I prefer getting them in store.
Yeah.
I think the only ones I've ever gone online were like gifts. My sister got them. But yeah, Steven has no problem like being competitive. Like, hey man, like help me out on this one. Like I could get it over here, and he's like, yeah, sure. So
does he have an online website?
He's rebuilding his website right now. I think he's just in the process of launching it again. But anytime that anyone needs anything, you can always reach out to him. He's and he does offer some very competitive packages as far as benefits go, rewards, for example, and then free shipping over $100, I think it is. So really good guy to get your Figuarts from. And he supposedly packs pretty well from what I've heard from Richard, the sweet angel, who bought a Hot Toys from him.
Oh, nice.
So let's see what else we got here. So Figuarts also showed the first reveal of their Vegito 2.0. This is the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan from the Future Trunks arc of Super. And Dean and I both thought this looked really good. Some of the groups are kind of roasting this figure, and it actually led Bandai to release a statement informally on their Twitter that said like this was something that wasn't supposed to be on display in that form, and the display was kind of mocked together on accident. It was like a really weird statement, but they basically said, you know, you guys have nothing to worry about. We're going to show a better look at it later. But Dean, what do you think about this?
I can't wait for it. In fact, the only reason I didn't get Vegito before is because they were still on the 1.0 body.
Yes.
The 2.0 body is so much better that it's like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Especially if you like, you know, the Goku Black arc.
Oh, dude, I need the demoniacal Goku.
Dude,
Save up for it.
the demoniacal one. If I could do it again, I would, because $100 for this was not good.
Yeah. Well, I hate to break it to you, man, but I think that's what I'm probably gonna do. Dean, you were really excited about this, the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2-pack, and also some of their other figures. So this is Raphael in Disguise and Casey Jones. Really good to see Casey Jones getting some love by NECA. These look incredible. I just think they really killed it at ToyFair. What do you guys think about these two?
Yeah, Echo fucking brought the heat, dude.
Yeah.
But so the first one we've only really seen is from the first movie. So this is the Secret of the Ooze. This is the sequel.
Yeah, so they put out Toka and Razor.
Yeah.
And my God, these look gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so the 2-pack, that's not the quarter scale. That's just the 1/6 scale one, right?
They're like 7-inch scale.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, they look really good. And,
yeah. So I'm hoping that they release the turtles again because I still have not found them, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah, Dean's looking for them, and Steven from Millennial Mutt is looking for them as well, the actual OG turtles. So if you guys have any leads for retail, let us know.
They're the ones that were sold on GameStop, right?
Yep. Yeah, they're sold out right now.
We did SDCC, and then they did the
single packs.
Release SDCC single packs. Then they did the GameStop ones. Then they re-released the GameStop ones, and I still haven't found them.
It's one of those things, man. They just evaporate when they come in stock.
Yeah, I mean, there's the 4-pack they sell on like, what's that? What's that stupid app I use?
Mercari?
Not Mercari. Ally Express.
Those are ripoffs, dude.
I know they are, but it's like, dude, if that's what I gotta do, I'll do it.
Wow.
Yeah. I would need some turtles in my life.
Yeah. NECA has always been killing it. And one thing about NECA that I always love supporting them is that they're from Jersey. So it's really cool that they're doing really well with, especially with these figures that they're releasing.
I'm thoroughly more impressed with them lately than I was not a NECA fan for the longest time.
Yeah.
Their QC was so bad. Like their figures would just break out of the package. Like their alien figures were notorious.
I remember. I had a couple, and that was just
evil figures. The wrists would break. The Predator figures would the legs would fall off. Like just so bad. And I was just like, dude, if I'm gonna pay, I guess they were kind of expensive before. Now they seem kind of normal price.
Dean, what is this shredder here? They had a purple suit shredder.
Super shredder I think he injects himself with the ooze.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
This is
they have that at the display as well.
No, is it from the second one?
Yeah,
I think it's from the second
one. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, all the figures they showed this year were from Secret of the Ooze. So this shredder looks dope, dude. I kind of wish it was. Is it a cloth cape? I can't tell.
Looks plastic, but I could be wrong. Catching up on some comments here, Steven says they got to be bigger than 7-inch. So, Steven, there's 7-inch scale, which means that if the turtles are 7 inches and these characters are bigger than the turtles, they should be a little bit larger. And then Caesar M says, PeeJay, do you collect any 1/12 scale? And if so, what lines?
1/12 scale. I do collect some Mesco stuff. What else do I collect that's 1/12? Alien, those are 1/12s, right?
Yeah, they're like the 7-inch scale.
Yeah. So I collect a lot of the NECA stuff. I still do. Depending on what I like and what I see. But I mean not too much, just because I usually try to concentrate on the bigger scales. Hasbro, I collect a lot of Black Series. What else do I collect? Damn, I used to collect the Disney Elite Star Wars stuff, like those what do you call those die-cast figures?
They're like the metal versions.
I have a whole bunch of those, and I do collect some of the Star Wars. What's the one that from the Disney store? The toy
box?
Yeah, the toy box one.
Dope. Oh, those, dude.
Yeah. So I 3 3/4. Collect a whole bunch depending. I have a lot of like SDCC exclusives from Hasbro. Yeah, so
very cool. So we have more NECA figures, and in the form of Back to the Future for the, I think it's the 35th anniversary. So the Ultimate Marty McFly, Tales from Space, and Marty McFly. These look amazing. I know Brian from Six Scale Scavengers is on a Back to the Future kick, and for me, I just don't have the display space for those larger figures. So these are gonna fit in quite nicely to my collection. I'm pretty excited, and they look fantastic. They also showed off some Jaws figures. These are in their 8-inch cloth line. We have Quinn and Brody. They did say that they're releasing a companion shark this year.
oh my gosh.
And I can't imagine, because my great white shark is like 25 inches long, and it's approximately 1/12 scale. And so I can't imagine how big an 8-inch scale shark is going to be. It's going to be like 30 to 36 inches long. So I think what they're going to do is something like some of the third-party sharks people have done, is they make like a bust where it's like just the shark and the fin coming out of the water.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them actually making a full Bruce for any reasonable price that's going to fit with these figures. So I'm hoping when the 8-inch cloth figures come out that they can kind of futz with my 1/12 scale shark, but I'm very worried that it's not going to look right. What do you guys think about the Back to the Future and the Jaws stuff?
I'm sold on that Back to the Future stuff. You know, it's one of those things like see, one thing I love about collecting is that, like, you know, we all love a whole bunch of lines and franchises and IPs. So it's really hard to collect them in like Hot Toys form or statue form.
Right.
But when it comes to like, you know, figures like this where they're affordable and at like a smaller scale, it makes it so much enticing to pick up. You know, so I'm sold on that Back to the Future stuff. I didn't pick up the Hot Toys version just because it's expensive to get them. And then you're like, well, I want the DeLorean now. So hopefully at some point, if they're releasing these figures, hopefully we get a DeLorean. I'm not sure if NECA is into making vehicles and stuff. I know they make like smaller alien vehicles back in the day, but
I would say I haven't seen a single company that has the license for Back to the Future that hasn't made the DeLorean.
Yeah, Lego made it. I think Jada Toys had the license for the vehicle. They made it. I think it was like Reveltech, some Japanese company, had made their version of the DeLorean. I don't know why I said Mandalorian.
close enough.
They have that cartoonish line, don't they? I think they were showing it this year also.
Yeah, they had some other lines. I was just mostly going on the stuff that
yeah.
that we had in the chat. But
If I'm gonna pick up a Marty McFly, it's gonna be with the sweet ass Nikes from
hell yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
Futuristic Nikes.
for me. But if they come out with the one, you know, with the Nikes, I'll pick it up hoverboard.
Yeah. And this was the last bit of toy news at ToyFair that really excited me, but the Hasbro Lightning Collection Blue Ranger was finally shown. This comes out in June 2020. Very excited for this. I legit am like over the moon at the fact that they were able to complete this line, especially because the Blue Ranger did have a pretty nasty falling out with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And of course, unfortunately, the Yellow Ranger did pass many years ago. So I'm glad that they were able to work with her estate and also with the actor to make these figures a reality. So the team is going to be complete for now. I think Manny was saying that the Black and Gold Ranger was also in this line as well. But I'm just like super stoked to be able to have all my Rangers on display in 12 scale. I would love the 6 scale, but I can't afford it both display wise and money wise. So this is definitely going to fill that niche in my collection.
Yeah, and one thing about these, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I do collect the Overwatch 12 scale. They're 12 scale, right? The Overwatch figures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one thing I love about these Hasbro figures is that like the packaging is phenomenal. I love it. That's one thing about Hasbro really like tries to get you is with their packaging, and then the head sculpts have improved a lot.
They're fantastic.
Oh my gosh, it's like whatever technology they're using, which is what the was it the
it's, digital face printing?
Yeah, digital face printing. Man, they're doing a really great job with that.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get into some delays. Commander Cody, Captain Marvel, Krennic, and the Hulkbuster are getting delays this emails, and these are all getting pushed back. I think am I what?
I told you not to go on.
Oh, I couldn't hear you at all. You were like breaking up nasty.
Oh.
All right, let's go back to the Ranger. What were you saying?
I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but is his paint more metallic than the other guys? It looks.
I think it's just the lighting.
Yeah.
I hope not. That would fucking be awful if it was.
Right? That's what I was thinking. Because like his arm in the package looks metallic.
I think it's just the gloss coat, because I think like the Pink Ranger was really glossy and some of them haven't been. I hope that's the case. That would now that you said that, I'm kind of worried.
Right.
The Yellow Ranger looked fine compared to the other ones. So
Shit they would do, make the last one different and then like re-release it later and like
dang, people at Hasbro listening right now are like, yo, this is finna be dope.
That's just saying that's some shit they would do.
Yeah. So sorry, I kind of heard you in my ear, but you were like, I was like, oh, okay. So going on to delays, Captain Cody, Commander Cody, Captain Marvel, Krennic, and the Hulkbuster have all been delayed, probably due to coronavirus. Things are moving a little bit slower in the postal services. So definitely expect delay emails on those if you haven't gotten them already.
I have not gotten one for Cody.
Really? When is your last payment for Cody? Do you know?
I'm just gonna pay it when it comes out. I don't
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you did the one-time payment.
Yeah. It's probably going to be delayed, most likely.
Yeah, and then Jiren for new releases this week. Jiren has pretty much finally hit full retail in the United States. Amazon is shipping them out. I got mine from Target. People are getting theirs from Walmart Marketplace. Big Bad Toy Store is also shipping theirs, so be sure to be on the lookout. But remember, with Jiren, you got to be careful with that right shoulder. It's very, very stiff. I used WD-40. What's that?
His right?
The figure's right arm.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll know right away. I mean, it is legitimately stupid tight. It's I honestly thought people were just being idiots, but it's ridiculous. PeeJay, real quick, I was gonna ask you your process for shooting reviews, because your reviews always seem to be really well done. Do you use a script? Do you use a script at all with your reviews, or you just kind of get the figure in frame and get going?
I try to get the figure in frame, and I start to go, and as soon as I hit that record button, usually I try to do segments. I try to like concentrate, like say if I'm doing the head sculpt, I'll as I say head sculpt, like
I noticed you changed your green screen, so I was like, I want to change my green screen too.
So with the so I'll concentrate on, like, say if I'm doing head sculpt, I'll concentrate on that. I'll try to think of what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna look at. Usually, I try to like inspect the figure and play around with it for a couple hours before I start reviewing it. Just because it'll be like a more organic and honest review. And then I'll start shooting and I'll do the unboxing and stuff. Well, I already do the unboxing, but I'm saying like the actual review. I'll concentrate on each category, like articulation, the outfit, the suit, and after that, after I'm done shooting all that, then I do the B-roll where I just kind of like do the spinneroo turntable shots, and now I'm trying to add some more B-roll, like where I'll use like a slider and stuff now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like really up my game this year. And music too. So you see, with music, I try to like do like the non-copyrighted music that I could get from like maybe SoundCloud, or I use this service called Epidemic. Epidemic? Yeah, it is Epidemic.
Yeah.
So Epidemic Sound, so stuff like that. Just because I really want to give the viewers like the best quality video and audio and video and review. So I really, it's. What gets me going and what keeps me doing these reviews is like some of the comments that I receive, and some of the the support, the love and support that I usually get, and it really means a lot to me. So that's why it gets me going. And I don't shoot as much as many other YouTubers. I try to concentrate on quality over quantity. Like I don't want to just, I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of YouTubers out there that just shoot content just to shoot content, right?
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. I know, I kind of know what you're talking about, but like, I don't need to see an unboxing video, a review video, outside review video, inside review video, final thoughts review video, an update review video. I found this trick out review video. It's like by the time it's all done, it's like you're talking like 4, 5, 6 hours of content for one figure.
Yeah,
and it's awful. Like I can get everything I need to know from anything in like 15 minutes. I don't need to sit there and watch 3 hours worth of content to gain the information that I need from this.
Well, you know why they do that is
it's because of the ad revenue.
Yeah,
the longer the video plays, the higher you get in the search results, right? In the algorithm.
Yeah, algorithm. It's just ridiculous. And I've seen a guy like I used to be subscribed to him. He would come out. He was doing like updated room tour.
Oh God!
Or
yes.
Like in that.
Bro, I don't need to see one of those every week. God damn! I know exactly
they'll
what
be
you're
like,
about.
oh, I added a new couple figures.
Updated room tour.
It's like, oh my gosh! Oh, I changed like this art print to a new art print.
Room tour.
And I'm like, dude, like
I changed my green screen to a new green screen. Room tour.
So for me, it's just like, even though I don't put out a lot as much as I want to, I mean, I have a family and I work and I do this like on the side. I would love to put out more and get recognized, but to be honest, I'm really doing this for.
Well, you got a pretty decent following. You're like at almost 2,600 subs. Congrats on that.
Oh,
I know what you mean about the comments. We had a really nice comment from a guy, Ian, today. He had asked for some advice on a project, on a figure that he had broken. And so I gave him some advice privately, and he messaged me today and he said, he loved us on the Sithcast. You did make sure to comment on that.
Oh, wow.
And he said that he fixed it perfectly with the product that I recommended. Everything worked fine. The articulation was all there. It was a vinyl figure that we repaired with JBJ Weld, and it was just so nice to see that comment. It really was. Yeah, it's really was a nice thing to it hits home. See. Yeah, I was really made my day. I've had a rough day today, so really made my day. Yeah, and it was just one of those things that I was really happy to see. But yeah, definitely, guys, we're at about 3/4 of the way through. But I just want to remind everyone, check out PeeJay the Paradox Nerd on YouTube. Give him a big subscription. Give him some love. And of course, Apple Podcasts. The Sithcast podcast is a really good show. Let's get into some movie news real quick. So Bob Iger steps down as Disney CEO effective immediately. That was today at around 4:05 Eastern Standard Time. Massive news. News.
Can I comment on this real quick?
Please go ahead. That's why we're here.
See, the thing is, like, people are like shocked all of a sudden that he's like steps down immediately. I kind of wish that they wouldn't word it that way, because it was already like coming. Like, we all knew that this is his last year, and he was like, I don't know how old he is, but I know he's pretty old, and he was looking to retire. So him stepping down was for like it was bound to happen. Yeah, he's been announcing this retirement for a very long time, and it's not like he stepped down and left the company completely.
Yeah, he's
still part of the
like a chief administrator or something.
Yeah. So he's slowly phasing out. So
yeah, he's still got 2 years.
Yeah.
One is his last month.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see like what the new CEO's vision is in terms of Star Wars, Marvel, other IPs that they want to consume.
Well, they already announced the next step for Star Wars, which was a little underwhelming.
It is. Did you see that board like they had of like all the things that they kind of wanted to hit? They put dinosaurs there.
Yeah.
I was taken back by that. I was like, dinosaurs in Star Wars?
Like, it's not promising at all, especially because they're like starting this August. It's like, okay, so we're just gonna get comics and look, I want some like content, but I guess we're getting the Mandalorian and Clone Wars, so it's not.
Yeah, but
it's like, dude, if I want to like explore new parts of the universe and the timeline,
I just don't know how this is going to play out, because I feel like they're not really concentrating on like the Star Wars fans. They're concentrating on capturing new Star Wars fans with this new announcement. So I don't know. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I'm just really.
That's true. That's how I thought about Rebels. I was like, this looks stupid. And
Yeah, I mean, we shall see.
We'll see.
So speaking of Star Wars content, the Clone Wars episode 1 dropped. Spoiler free. Have you guys all seen it?
No.
Yeah.
Dean, really? Wow. I thought it was pretty good.
Come on, Dean. No, I thought it was good. It's a good introduction to.
Honestly, I'll tell you why I haven't seen it.
Why is that?
I've been binge watching the shit out of Veronica Mars.
Oh God.
Okay.
It's a good show.
Dean is like, the next episode of this show is gonna be called Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I think the Bad Batch is maybe a little God mode, but you know, it is what it is. I thought it was pretty decent. I'm very curious to see where they go next week, because this was a good little nugget of Star Wars. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I agree. And did you guys know that this episode was like released like a while ago, and they just kind of like cleaned it up?
Yeah.
There was a
they had like a rough animation of everything, and they just never finished it, I think.
Yeah. Was this like one of those unfinished episodes, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, they had this whole season planned out, and then Disney was like, "No, we're doing our own thing," so they canceled it, and then came out with Rebels.
Yeah.
It's enough people off that they were like, "Shit, okay, we'll bring it back," which is good for us because it means they're listening.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, like, just really quick, with the Rebels, did you guys notice that? Like, I feel like in the beginning of Rebels, they were kind of like pleasing Disney in terms of like the, you know, I guess you could say it being G-rated as opposed to like getting R-rated towards like the later seasons.
Yeah,
it definitely got, in Dean's words, dork fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely like, hey, you want this done? We'll do it. And then when Disney was like, oh, you guys are doing a good job, they're like, can we do some stuff? And Disney was like, yeah, I guess. And then they kind of ran with it because it turned out fantastic. I was genuinely surprised with how good Rebels turned out.
Yeah, me too. And I think they were like, oh, Disney, they're like, okay, they're good with it. The last 2 episodes of the first season, let's go crazy with it. And then they did. So, and then carried over to the next couple seasons.
It was like the first season was kind of like, hey, can we, like, asking permission?
Yeah.
Like, we'll play ball. We're down to play ball because we want to accomplish something. So if we do what you say, maybe you let us handle it from here.
Yeah.
Which I kind of feel worked out for like the Mandalorian because it's Dave Filoni as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course Jon Favreau is, you know, their golden child for the MCU. So I kind of feel like they trusted both of them enough to be like, hey, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
So yeah, I think Rebels paved the way for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I will be forever in love with Rebels.
Dean, you had a really good meme that you made. I wanted you to tell the people listening to the audio podcast, explain the meme.
Okay, fuck you, first of all.
No. I'm not saying, well, because we're going to talk about a meme, but we can't.
No. I'm just saying, like,
I'm not making fun of you for your meme. Why would you say such words about me?
I'm saying, like, because your luck is so fantastical.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I like the meme.
So Zach bought 2 new cabinets for his Dragon Ball stuff. He wanted to free up some space for his collection. How much were these?
They were $26 each.
Okay,
they were on sale, like $60 with tax.
Yeah, not too expensive, but he got them, and then there was some clerical error.
Yeah, so I'll take over from here. So I got the cabinets, and I did the thing where you like buy it online, and they kind of like bring it to the front of the store, and you don't actually pull up into the parking spot and get your stuff. You actually go inside and, like, you know, you show them your receipt, and then they give you your stuff. And so I walk up, I'm with my kid, and it's just like really chill. It's like a Sunday morning, like right when they open. And I'm like, you know, I have 2 cabinets here. It's the same order, but I placed it twice because I wanted to get 2 cabinets after I saw they were on sale. And so the guy grabbed them, and I was like, do you mind grabbing, I need help loading these into the truck. they're like super heavy actually. They're like 100 pounds probably.
Yeah.
And so they helped me lift them into the truck, and I was like, all right, cool. And they're like, you're good to go. So like 3 days later, I woke up to like right in the morning to 2 emails at like 3 a.m. and it was like, here's a refund for your order, and it was 2 different refunds for the price of the cabinets. So I'm thinking that's odd. I'm wondering, maybe, I don't know, like, I honestly don't know. Like, I haven't even been back to Target. I haven't, reviewed the cabinets on their website. I haven't really done any surveys. I'm just wondering why. So I called the store. I think they open like at 9 o'clock. I called them, and I told the manager that I had just randomly gotten a refund. And she was like, well, did you like check out regularly? And I was like, no, I did like the online thing where you pick it up, whatever. And she's like, well, it sounds like they didn't log that you pick them up. And because of that, it triggers a refund automatically. And there's nothing we can do about it because you bought it online. She was like, even if you call the online store, like, they won't be able to do anything about it because as far as they're concerned, you were never in the store. And so I offered to bring because I have like the cardboard boxes still. And I was like, well, I can bring the barcodes back if you want to scan them. And that way the kids don't get in trouble. And the lady's like, no, it's not really your responsibility to do that. And honestly, like, since this refund's already been triggered, we can't go back and scan them. And so she's like, enjoy your refund, your free cabinets, I guess. And so I'm like, okay. And the weird thing is that they gave me a refund as a Target gift card, which was super annoying because, I mean, I don't ever shop at Target. And the only reason
dare you say that?
The only reason that I shopped at Target for these cases is because Walmart wasn't going to have their version of this cabinet in stock for like a few weeks. And so I went on Target and I was like, okay, I mean, I have money to use at Target. And sure enough, Target does a thing similar to Walmart where they allow other sellers to sell on their platform. And I think as part of that selling, they have to accept Target gift cards as cash 1-to-1. And so this, I think it was like Galactic Toys sells on Target's website. They had Jiren for retail. And essentially I was able to get Jiren for like $6. I think I just paid like the tax for Jiren. Nice. And I got Jiren for $6. And it's pretty awesome. And I got the cabinets, obviously. They're here behind me.
Zach posted the cabinet story. And I was like, dude, you got more free cabinets. And he was like, holy shit.
So
I forgot
this next story is before, I think, Collecting Weekly's 3rd iteration, if I remember correctly. But the cabinet behind me, let me go solo cam here, is quite large. And so what happened with this cabinet is I ordered it from Walmart, and FedEx, the actual box, I think, weighs like, I think it was like a 200-pound box. It was 2 boxes and total was 200 pounds. And the FedEx guy that delivered it broke the glass doors of the cabinet, broke both of them. And they're safety glass. So when any small part of the glass breaks, the whole thing just shatters. Like, if you've ever seen a DTOF that shatters, it's exactly what happened. Now, I called Walmart and they're like, bring it back to the store. I'm like, I have a sedan. I can't bring these big ass boxes back to store. It's not possible. I was like, if you guys have a Walmart employee come and pick them up, that'll work perfectly. And they're like, we can't do that. So that option wasn't available. And we went back and forth. The first manager was like, I'll just give you $30 back and you can keep them. And I'm like, no, like, this is a pretty expensive cabinet. I want this to be fixed. I don't want any money back. I just want this to be fixed. So they refused to send out a second cabinet, and long story short, they just gave me all my money back and said, you can deal with it on your own. So after about 2 weeks of trying to reach out to this company, I realized I was calling their Swedish number, not their American number. Found the American number, and they overnighted me a set of doors, and they made sure to extra bulletproof pack them, and I got that cabinet for free too. So essentially it's like $500, $600 worth of cabinets for free.
Yeah, so I made this meme of Zach receiving free ship from the cabinet.
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
Yeah, and the bookshelves are fantastic. I felt really bad. I did try everything to make it right, but they said since it triggered automatically, they had no access to that. So
yeah, there's some, because I work in a grocery store too,
and
there are times where someone has received a discount It's so weird how it's really hard to explain, but like returning it doesn't solve the issue, so they just get the money back. It's such a weird thing that it's like,
Yeah.
there's nothing we could do. Like, you just get it for free. Like,
Yeah, the lady was really mad. Like I could tell as soon as I told her what had happened, she got like pissed. And I told her, it's like, I really don't want these kids to get in trouble. Like, I don't know, it's just maybe because it was kind of busy Sunday morning when they opened. There was a lot of people in the pickup line, and I thought it was odd because I was like, I'm here, I have 2 cabinets. They never scanned my phone, and I didn't think about that until I got the refund. But they just like went to the back and like grabbed the cabinets. I mean, they didn't even ask for my name. I was like, oh, like I'm here to pick up 2 cabinets. And they're like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, they're the white 5 shelves, and like no one verified. Like I could have just been some random dude who got really lucky guessing about white cabinets. But yeah, so I got those for free, and they're freaking dope. I think I'm going to do a review on the YouTube channel about them.
Oh, nice.
But let's get into some custom corners. So Dean has been really inspiring me this week to make this custom. We've been going on and on about it. It's gone through several different iterations, and I have a video on our YouTube channel of how I made it. But it's a Final Explosion / training room / Tournament of Power Vegeta. And I freaking love this. It's based off the Dragon Ball Evolved Broly figure with a head swap and a bunch of repainting. And I honestly could not be happier with how this thing turned out. Dean, you've been inspiring me along the way. Tell me what you think about this.
it looks good, man. The forearms were a huge problem.
Yeah, because Broly is jacked. And Vegeta's pretty jacked, but not in his forearms.
Yeah, and you solved the problem pretty fast.
Yeah, like in like 5 minutes. Once you mentioned it, I was like, wait, I have an idea. And essentially what I did was, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it looked like his body had been retaining water.
Yeah.
Like these big like chorizo sausages. And then, hands. I was like, dude, you have to do something about the forearms.
Yeah. And, so essentially what I did was I took a Dragon Star's forearm, and I had to re-drill the I guess like they're like little pins that go in for these cheaper figures to make the joints. I had to re-drill that. And then on the back side of the elbows, I had to cut the slit deeper because the joint was so much bigger. Yeah. But they fit on seamlessly. I mean, the actual drill bit that I used was the exact size as the hole that they had used for the previous one. And essentially it was just painting it blue, painting it white, painting it that brown color. And then I coated everything with Mecha Matte, which is like the best stuff ever. And I'm so happy with the way this looks, because this is one of my favorite scenes in the Tournament of Power, when Vegeta is kind of on his last bit of strength and he just gets super swole. But also the Super Saiyan scene where he's fighting Trunks in the gravity chamber is just iconic, because he has to go on the play date with Trunks and Bulma if he gets punched, and then Trunks like actually hits him. It's just like one of my favorite scenes of Dragon Ball. So I love the way this thing turned out, dude. I told you I picked up a second Broly to fix some of my mistakes. So yeah. I have all these parts for you if you want to give it a shot, but it's a really neat little set. So thank you for believing in me, because I think at first I was very discouraged, and I talked about it on I don't remember when we talked about it on Ox. I hit a point Tuesday night of last week where I was like, I just want to quit on this project. Like, nothing is working that I'm doing. I've already spent too much time and effort painting, sculpting, gluing, and stuff like that. And I was ready to give up. And essentially the simplest solution worked to make this thing right, which was using the base torso, base legs, and just going from there with paint. And, Dean, you were there along the way. You were pushing me to do better. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love it. I freaking love it. And of course, we mentioned Tournament of Power. Super has really been one of the things that really mattered the most to me this week. We finally finished it, all 131 episodes of Super.
Hey, nice.
Oh, wow.
It is dope. Now, Tournament of Power, I'm not going to spoil it, but it was one of those things that's like so familiar yet so different. Like the way they did the tournament, I thought it was going to be one-on-one, but it's like a big battle royale. Last man standing wins. And totally usurped my expectations. It was fantastic. Damien, Sweet Angel, worked on the pattern for me. So I'm going to print out a 2-foot by 2-foot diorama. The pattern before they start fighting, he designed it in Illustrator for me, and it looks fantastic. And I'm going to get that printed out. But yeah, if you guys haven't watched Dragon Ball Super, I highly recommend it. It's freaking dope, especially the Tournament of Power.
PeeJay, do you watch Dragon Ball Z?
Sometimes I haven't really gotten to the new Super yet, so I'm kind of like making my way. Because my friend, he gave me all the episodes from all the Dragon Ball Z's and Dragon Ball, so I'm kind of slowly going through those and getting to Super, because I heard Super is really super. No, I heard it was really good. Yeah, I heard it was really good. So
yeah. I fucking love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Dean, let's wrap up the show with Grinds My Gears. I know we've gone on a little bit longer than we normally do, but for me,
my segment.
Did I what?
Did you snub my segment?
What segment? The SJWs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. It was stupid. I didn't want to talk about that. No, dummy, it's right here. It's your Grinds My Gears. I'm gonna do mine first, then it'll be yours. We always have to end on a high note. So drop shipping. Now, this is something we talked about, I think, on our second or third episode of Collecting Weekly, bamboozled again, and I almost was bamboozled again. So on eBay, I was looking for this really cheap Funko Pop. It's like, $7-8, not expensive at all. Vegeta training in the gravity chamber. Again, I've mentioned this is iconic scene for me. One of my favorite aspects of Vegeta is how hard he trains, and I just like this Funko Pop. So I went on eBay, found a guy selling them for $8 shipped, and I almost pulled the trigger. But then I remembered, like, if it's that cheap shipped, shipping a Funko in a box minimum is like $6 or $7. So he's making $1 on this Funko Pop. There's no way he's doing that. Sure enough, I check Amazon. The same Funko Pop is $6.25 with free shipping. So essentially, if you buy this Funko Pop from this guy for $8, he's clicking 2 buttons, sending this Funko to your house and making $1.75. That is drop shipping. It is the worst shit ever. It's all over eBay, all over different, sites like this. Anytime you want to buy something, I highly recommend installing Honey on your browser for desktop. It compares prices and finds you the best deal. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but it's a really good program. So definitely watch out for drop shipping, because essentially this guy has sold more than 55% of his inventory, which is like 100 figures. So he's basically made like almost $150 doing this, almost $200 actually. So definitely watch out for drop shipping. And then Dean, tell us about your Grinds My Gears.
Yeah, so Hasbro's coming out along with Flame Toys with this what's her name?
Looks like Windblade.
Yeah, Windblade. It's a Transformers figure. It's kind of, if that's what you like, whatever. Like, I don't personally buy Transformers, and I don't like metal waifus, but there's people out there who do. Like, whatever.
Yeah, well, Dean likes the regular waifus.
Yeah, there's one right there. They put out this tweet like, hey, like, here's a prototype of the figure we're coming out with, and oh my god, you think they just like tweeted out a video of them drowning puppies? Like, like, how could you? Like, this is so pathetic. Like, all this shit, and it's like, it's just a toy. Like, it's just a toy. Like, how are you getting offended over plastic toys? Like, you have got to be kidding me. And enough like SJW like weirdos got on Twitter and made a big enough stink that they just like removed the tweet. Like, whatever. Now, the reason why this is Grinds My Gears is because, like, let's just say in the ether right now, people are talking about the Harley Quinn movie. It's geared towards a female audience, right? And a lot of male viewers are like, well, it's not very good. And they're the first people to say, like, well, it's not for you, so don't, you know what I mean? And then the same people scream about this, like, but it's not for you. Like, let someone else enjoy their thing. Like, why do you have to police? It's just a toy.
Honestly, this looks awful. I think if this was going to be canceled on any grounds, it's just awful looking.
Okay,
but like, I think this whole line is awful, to be honest. Like the Furai model kit line, I'm not a fan of it.
Okay.
But you're right. Like there's people that like these non-transforming Transformers that are very anime heroic-esque proportions. There are people that there is a niche market for that. Personally, it's not for me. I think it's a little cringy. I think like even with the Fans Toys Rogue that Jobby was showing, they have like it's a female Transformer and they have like an optional boob upgrade kit where you can get for 3 different bust sizes.
It's so weird.
It's weird. I'm not really keen on that. So it's not really for me. But was this actually canceled? Do you think? I know in the post.
As far as I've heard, it's not been canceled. I don't want it to be canceled because
purely on the principle of
like, hey, like there's somebody out there who enjoys this, and if they want to spend their money on it, they should have that option too. Like, who are you to police these people on what they can and can't buy, and then bully a company enough that the company bends to their will?
Yeah,
and they're not even buying the product. They're not. I mean, this is exactly what happened with Star Wars. It's like enough of these people made a big enough stink that they changed all this shit, and it's like, but the numbers show that they're not even supporting the product. So I'm just hoping that this company doesn't like bend to the will of the few who are just the loud minority. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It pisses me off that people on Twitter swing their above their weight, and these companies just like bend to their will.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's always the people. It's always the loud people that make, the biggest noise, and I'm saying, like, even there's a small group of them, they're the ones making things change for some reason, which is kind of sad. It shouldn't be the case. You should really cater to everyone else except for the ones that's complaining about everything.
It's just like the hypocrisy. Like I said, it's, oh, this isn't for you. Okay, if you don't like gay marriage, don't get gay married, right? Which is fair. That's fine. But then it's like, well, if you don't like this Transformers figure, don't buy it. Like, I don't know. I just hate the hypocrisy. These people on Twitter just like running their mouth on shit that literally has nothing to do with them. They're just, I don't know, angry.
And no offense to gays as well, but this is.
Dude, I was watching this. This is completely unrelated, but I was watching this video on Jiren because I was like, why is this shoulder so tight? And in the middle of this video, this guy dropped this gem, and I just thought it was so weird.
No, I'm not gay, sorry. And no offense to gays as well, but this is.
All he was talking about was like fixing a figure, and he'd randomly drop that. It's like, what?
Now I'm thinking he is gay.
Yeah, why would you say that? Nothing wrong with that, but it just like the way he said that was like, what? Like I was watching it and I was busy doing something and I had to stop and like rewind, like, why did he say that? And I still don't know, but it's just iconic. Anyways, so yeah, that's real quick. So we have a question here. Anyone have the Hot Toys Emperor Palpatine with throne? What are your thoughts on it? Caesar, I did have it. And on my copy, the LEDs went out after a few weeks. I was actually like less than a few weeks. It was like maybe 10 days. The LEDs at the top of the little, what is it, the chair? Those burned out like crazy. It was like a rave under that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. It's not great in my opinion. I would definitely pay retail or less. I wouldn't pay more than retail. The throne design is kind of weird. It's my understanding from the proportions that the actor had to slouch really awkwardly in that chair to look normal in it. And it's kind of difficult for figures to achieve that natural slouch that Ian McDermott had to put on to fit in that chair right. And because of that, it's just, you have to really modify that base. I think I actually have a spare base in my garage of that little bottom piece. You have to actually cut off like something like 3/4 of an inch to get him to actually sit with his feet on the ground normally. And that's something that you have to really modify your thing to be able to do. Personally, I did not like it. I sold it almost as soon as I could find a buyer. And it looks nice, like if you can get it posed really well, but it's a pain in the ass to get it to pose well. So PJ, do you have that figure, the Emperor
Yeah.
Palpatine Hot Toys? What are your thoughts?
I mean, see, I've always been a big sucker for like accessories and stuff, so I always get the deluxe version of any figure that I'm going to buy. So I do agree the design of that chair is really not figure friendly, as you could say, and not most pose friendly. So I saw someone on one of the Facebook groups kind of put the actual base underneath his feet to kind of prop him up.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a really good idea as well.
So it actually looks pretty good. But then if you were to do that, any figures that you're posing him with has to have that base to make it look.
Yes.
So
that's a good point.
That could be a problem, unless you just don't mind having him just Emperor with that base.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's pretty much it for our show this week. We had a really good show with PeeJay the Paradox Nerd. Really, really want to thank you for coming on with us today.
Thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely check out his YouTube, PeeJay the Paradox Nerd. Check him out on Apple Podcast at the Sithcast. If you like our show, please share it with a friend. Sub to us on YouTube if you haven't. We're climbing up slowly in the subscription ladder. And of course, rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. We also really appreciate that. You can find us on our secret Facebook group. It's Collecting Weekly Auxiliary. It's a really fun group. We just put up our pile of parts giveaway that we're doing with hopefully get some people kit bashing on the group. You can find us on TeePublic at Collecting Weekly. We have a ton of new designs there, and Manny does a really good job designing those. Of course, YouTube is Collecting Weekly. And shout out times, Small Talk, Damien and Dylan. I think they took this week off for vacation. They'll be back, I think, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, unless things have changed. Only Fools and Collecting. Steve has taken a short leave from the show. Hopefully he'll be back. So Ian and Pete are going to hold down the fort, as they say. Darkside Customs in the United Kingdom. Ian is just such a good painter. He's painting a lot of Watto Scrapyard sculpts. So if you like those sculpts, check them out. They are doing that Lando Calrissian giveaway over on Only Fools and Collecting this Thursday. And 6 Scale Scavengers, Brian, Chris, TC, Sweet Angels. Wonderful guys.
Sweet Angels.
I love them. Dean, we need to get a Sweet Angel shirt made for the podcast. It's time.
Yeah.
The meme is real.
Yeah, I really love like that thumbnail that you had with I think when you had Matt on, or is it Matt when you had the Anakin? It says, "Are you an angel?"
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I was cracking up with that.
We have fun, man. We I don't know that we're ever like, super professional or whatever, but we just have a lot of fun in this show. We just chit chat, and whatever happens. And I think it's just a good time,
Yeah, I had a great time here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Do you have any shout outs, PJ?
No shout outs. Just basically you already shout out pretty much everyone that I would like to shout out, but shout out to you guys. Seriously, you guys have inspired me to start my own podcast. I've been listening to you guys for a while. I'm usually not the type of person because I'm so busy to comment on people's videos. As much as I do, I usually leave a like at least, but I've been following you guys for a while. You guys do a great job, seriously. And that's one thing I love about you guys is that you cover pretty much everything in terms of the collecting world and the pop culture world. So in terms of the subs and the viewers should be a lot more than what you guys have. I'm looking at I'm on the YouTube channel right now. I see you have a lot more likes than people watching. So that's good. People are watching your stuff, and you're getting a lot of
yeah, we're just slowly making our way up in the world, trying to carve out a name for ourselves. Dean,
also I love your swag, man. Your swags are awesome.
Oh yeah, we have to I told you I'm gonna send you a wait, what?
Dean does all that? Dean,
No.
or
No,
I did the new this week.
Yeah, he did the new this week sticker. I designed the certified crispy
that's
sticker.
awesome.
And then Manny did the official logos and everything. And then I adapted some of his work to make the auxiliary Mandalorian sticker. So we'll send you a nice little care package, PJ, some swag your way soon.
Yeah.
And
do you mind if I take some pictures with it?
No, please. Any press is good press. And Caesar says thanks for taking the time to answer. Caesar, you sweet angel, anytime. And I just want to give a big shout out to my good buddy Ian Siaby from across the pond. Wonderful guy. Always hit me up with some good words of encouragement. He's the gentleman that had that model kit that we fixed up for him. Vinyl figure, rather. But thanks to you, buddy. I hope you have a good week. Hopefully, I think he was sick last week, and I was heartbroken to hear that. So, Ian, hopefully you feel better, man. We're going to send some swag your way as well. Caesar M, drop me an email, Zach@collectingweekly.com. We'll get some swag sent your way as well.
Nice.
PeeJay, sorry, please continue. I was
No. That's fine.
Rant.
That's that. No, I love the logos. I love the Mandalorian logo that you guys have. That's awesome.
I think I have I need to check. I think I have 2 or 3 more left. I'll send you one if we do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But those went fast. Yeah, those went fast.
Yeah, are you guys going to do a T-shirt on that? Or
we have a T-shirt on that. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. A T-shirt on that, and then the hollow stickers. Though I can't wait to get some hollow stickers with the new this week design. I think those are going to look fantastic. Dean's design was really good.
Yeah. I was just gonna give a shout out to Danny Lee, always in the chat.
Always a sweet angel.
Mario Cortez, I missed his hey guys.
Yeah, I think he had to get to bed a little early. So
yeah, Dan Lee's awesome. He's very supportive. Awesome guy.
Caesar sticking it through. Shout out Steven, our friend Steven. He's sending me turtles online. Like, look at these. And then
dude, speaking of Steven, so he had a guy on real quick before we wrap it up. He had a guy on eBay that had this really good deal on the turtles, and he messaged the guy and was like, "Hey, are these legit?" And the guy blocked him. 100%, those are not legit. Oh, you said you that right now?
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's all.
So if you're looking at Ninja Turtles on eBay, definitely don't go with that one seller. Let me see if I can pull up his name real quick.
I got it right here.
Pull it up for me. Keep My Words 1, I think.
Yeah, Keep My Words 1.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Block my buddy. Block my buddy. So
yeah, I mean he's in Canada, but yeah, it's
well.
Also, one more shout out, your wonderful wife.
Oh, really?
This Kylo Ren is still the fucking chips and gravy, dude.
Dude, that is so dope. Wonderful.
So sinister, man.
That's sick.
Dean, you have to bring him to my house so we can pose our Kylos together and take pictures.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be dope. Anyways, guys, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
And I'm PeeJay the Paradox Nerd.
Catch you on the next episode.
Take care, everyone.
Well done, guys. Good show. Very long show.